Okay, I'm gonna do a day in the life of a dental hygienist, kind of post-COVID or current COVID pandemic version. But before I start this video, I need to say that yes, I have been closely following the CDC, OSHA, OSAP, ADA, ADHA, but please keep in mind the date that this is published because these are the interim guidelines. Like, everything is based on what we currently know. This is an ever-evolving situation, so let's go to work. Something right off the bat that's a little different is I'm obviously not wearing scrubs. You really shouldn't be wearing scrubs to and from work, so we launder them at work. So my scrubs are waiting for me. If you don't have a washer and dryer available at your work, bring a bag to put your scrubs in right away and like bring the bag with you home so they're not contaminating anything. Another thing is like getting ready for work is not what it once was. I'm not wearing much makeup. I put a little makeup on for this video, but I want to make it look as normal as possible. The only thing you're gonna see is your eyes. So I put on some mascara, but I guess you can make your eyes really fun if you want, but it's kind of hot out today and I'm sweating. I've been kind of comparing it to, I was in marching band, and I've been comparing it to like getting ready for a marching band parade. Like, you took a shower, but for what? Because you're about to sweat all day in all the PPE, you know what I'm saying? So one other thing, well, that goes along with the whole marching band thing, is that my body also hurts because we're trying to hand scale as much as we can. And so I can't wear my loops with my light right now until I get a face shield that will work with my light. Anyway, my point is, it's just like marching band because I played the drums and like your body hurts so bad after a parade and you were sweating. It's the same thing in the dental world now. I've been doing this cute little braid, and you'll see why the braid's been working for me. You'll be seeing when I get to work and change into my scrubs and put my hair clip on and how that works. All right, let's go. Now I put my mask on before I go into the office, and then I'm going to come on in. And I didn't mention before, but I also just drank a whole bottle of water, and I should probably drink even more than a whole bottle of water because it's going to be a very sweaty day with all the PPE. So it's really good to hydrate beforehand, right? First things first, before I even change into my scrubs, I have to go get my temperature taken. So I'm gonna go do that now. I am just acting this out. Nobody is actually here right now. I'm just in my office, but I'm still just trying to show you like how I do things. Wouldn't be taking it myself, but I'm just doing it 98.0 right now. We take our temperature and make sure it's not greater than 100.4. If you're higher than that, you cannot come to work. We also answer the same questionnaire, the pre-screening COVID-19 screening that we give the patients, you know, with the questions like, do you have a shortness of breath? Do you have a cough? Things like that. So we screen ourselves, all the employees, before we can start work every day. We also log it in the log, and now once we are approved to go to work, we are good, temperature's good, pre-screening questions are good. Now I'm going to change into my scrubs. So I'm all cleared, so it's time to change. Like I said, here you go, we have the laundry, and then up here we have the scrubs waiting for me. These are my scrubs, so let me put those on. Goodbye, cute alien shirt. Okay, so now I am in scrubs, except as you can see, my shoes are not ready yet, and a lot of me's not ready yet. I still have a lot more layers to put on. We all have our little sections that we put our shoes and our stuff, so I'm gonna change into my clinic shoes now. So now I have my shoes on. Now it's time to start actually putting the PPE on. And I'll show you like a few things as I do it as well. Before you put anything on, you gotta wash your hands. We're washing our hands a million times throughout this putting PPE on and taking PPE off, so just keep that in mind. I'm not going to show the hand washing every single time because this video will literally be 8 hours long. So I always wore masks. Obviously we all wore masks, but now with the respirator masks, they're very tight, and we're wearing the surgical masks on top that it really does make your ears raw and like pulls them forward and it hurts. So you could sew buttons onto whatever. So right now this is all I have is more of a headband type thing. I plan to get a full surgical cap as well, material one. This is what I'm working with right now. And so I wear this headband thing plus a disposable cap to like cover the rest of my head right now. But later I'm gonna have like the full cap too, and I'll probably switch off between. Anyway, I just bring it up because when I was hearing about everyone and their ears, and I was like, I always wear masks, it doesn't hurt ears. But now I'm like, oh, never mind. It really hurts ears. And then earlier I was talking about why I do this little braid, because when I'm about to put the disposable one on, it's way easier to just like, I don't know, pin this up. I'm not gonna put the respirator on right now because I'm just here showing you this. I don't wanna waste anything. So let me just show you with a regular surgical mask. So see like how cool that is? So, you know what I mean? Now it's not hurting my ears at all. Another thing people use are these things, like you can use, you put this behind you, like if you don't have the buttons and you can't figure that out, you can put this behind your head and like, you know, do that on both sides. So there's a lot of different options to help your ears. Now I put on my disposable head cap. I could dig this look. You know what I mean? It's kind of cute. So all I have left is my loops, my face shield, and my gloves. I'm not going in the best order right now because I'm just trying to show you for the video, but let's keep going. So now I'm like slowly still putting on all the PPE. Now that I'm in my room, I at least have a mask and glasses on. Something to know, like some changes that we've made. If you have any props or like visual aids, we're not keeping them out like this anymore. We're putting them away. Something to know. Another thing is sometimes like gloves and masks have these beautiful organizer openings, but this shouldn't really be happening either. So we're putting those away as well. I'm getting my room ready. I'm looking to see which patients I have today. Hand sanitizing a bunch. We do have the air purifier as well, which I'll turn on. This happens to be a little longer than usual. We used to just have a head cover, but now we have a whole like chair cover here. We do have a few more suctions and stuff, which I'll show you in a bit. But let me just get the room ready like I normally would. Now I'm going to go greet my first patient. I'm going to be wearing the full getup when I go into the waiting room to get them. So I'm all geared up now. This is what I would look like. Let's go greet our first patient. Okay, so now your patient will be hand sanitizing here, which is great. The front desk called me. They said he just walked in, so nobody else is in the waiting room. So I'm going to take his temperature before I bring him in back. So to take his temperature, we have these touch-free thermometers. 98.2. His temperature is good. He does not have a fever. If it's 100.4 or higher, we cannot see them. He already filled out all of his pre-screening COVID questions. He is good to proceed back, so we'll bring him back. Okay, so I brought my patient back, and the first thing I'm gonna do is wash my hands again. We're gonna be washing our hands. We should always be washing our hands anyway all the time, right? So depending on how your office operates, the patient already did the screening form, but we're gonna ask them the questions again. Sometimes the reception area will ask them again, or we'll ask them again and back, which I will link in the bottom bar below. That ADA has a great one on their website. Something else that's just so interesting, I keep thinking about this, is like, if it's a new patient, they have no idea what I look like under this. And I've even had patients that like request me or whatever, and they want to see me, and they look at me and they're like, is that you under there, Whitney? I'm like, yeah, hello. You know, because it's just different. So that's kind of different now that they're never seeing our face. So then we kind of just go about the appointment as normal as we can. We do a pre-rinse beforehand for the patient to rinse with. And then after we go over all the regular health history and things like that, it's advised to use hand instruments if you can. If you are going to use an aerosol producing scaler, you need to be using a high speed suction. There's a lot of different ways to reduce aerosols with different types of high-speed suctions. So if the regular high-speed suction isn't your thing, there's other things to try as well. I have a little video about that I'll link below, ways to use high speeds and ways to reduce aerosols. But until then, let's clean the patient's teeth. Another thing is you're not supposed to be having the patient close down on the suction. If they're closing down, you need a backflow protector, so look into that. So now when we're done with the appointment, the patient is done, I will wash my hands again, and then I will dismiss them, and we will ask them to call us if they experience any symptoms, COVID-19 symptoms, in the next 14 days, because we need to keep track of everyone's health. And now we have more time in between the appointments, so I have a little gap to be able to wipe everything down twice and let it dry completely before I do the second wipe. The extra time between the appointments has been very helpful, especially with all the extra PPE and all the extra precautions we're taking. Once I'm ready and the room is complete, I check to see if my next patient is here, and they'll be waiting in their cars, and I'll ask the front desk, and if they're here, I'll ask the front desk to call them or text them to come in. And then I meet them up in front and we do this whole thing over again. Now, the end of the day, what we do is we keep on most of our PPE. We disinfect everything and do the normal end of day things. We count all the ultrasonic tips, you know, like we always do, to make sure we didn't throw anything away. We run all the lines, we drain all the water from the lines, we clean the suctions, make sure the autoclave is turned on for the next day. We restock all the rooms to make sure everything's ready for the next day. We take off all of our PPE, we take off our scrubs, and we throw it into the wash and then I put on my regular clothes again. And the last thing we do right before we leave is my coworkers and myself, we take our temperatures again and we log our temperatures. So we have a temperature from when we got here in the morning and a temperature that we logged when we left. Like I said at the beginning of this video, please remember these are interim guidelines, meaning they can change because we are currently in an ever-evolving situation. Please stay current and up to date with the health organization information and resources from our ADHA and the ADA. I will link those resources below if you want to learn more. I will link my PPE videos in the bottom bar below as well, and I really hope this video helped you and makes us all feel like we're all in this interim, confusing limbo together right now. And I just hope this brings you comfort that you're not the only one living this type of day. Peace, love, and teeth.